Hey y'all, it's been a while since we've done any kind of book reviews, and so I decided it was time to get back on that horse. So I just got done reading Julie Garwood's Castles and Lion's Lady. Now, Julie Garwood has been around for a long time, and one of her favorite books that I've read is The Gift, and that's about Nathan and Sarah. And they were forced to marry at a very young age. Sarah was only 4. And the king promised a treasure once she came of age. And their story it's a love story, but it's hilarious. I laughed all through the book. Well, Nathan's best friend, also partner in their shipping business, is Colin. And Castles is Colin's story, his love story. And he falls in love with Alessandra, who is a princess. And she comes to England because she was put into a convent when her father died, and her mother got sick, and her and her mother both went to the convent, and then her mother passed away when she was only 12. So she had been raised basically all of her life with the nuns. But then Mother Superior decides that it's time to get out. It's time for her to find somebody, and that she couldn't become a nun. And so she goes to England, to London, and Colin's father was her father's best friend. And so everybody got sick, and she had to stay with Colin. And she's trying to find a husband. He was first on her list just because his father said so. But then they really do fall in love. I mean, you know how these romance stories go. You know they're going to get together. So her and Colin fall in love. They do get married. But in the meantime, this also has a little bit of a murder mystery going on also. And it's a man that is killing women, and he's hiding their bodies. And so no one knows. It's just like they just disappear. But Alessandra has been figuring it out, because the first woman to come missing was a best friend of hers. So anyway, it's a really good book. It's not as funny as The Gift is, but it still has that gives you that warm, tingly feeling that you always get from Julie Garwood. The next story that is in this book is a 2-for-1, and you know that's always wonderful. The Lion's Lady. I really enjoyed it. It was between the two, it was my favorite. It's about a girl that her mother fled from her husband. He was like a king in some country, but he was more of a dictator than a king. And she ran from him, and then she found out she was pregnant, but she wasn't going to go back to him, and she fled to the colonies. And then decided to go, as people were making their way west, she decided that's what she would do, to get as far away from her husband as she could. But she ends up passing. But she had made friends with Mary, who was a woman of the Dakota tribe. So the medicine man, the shaman, had dreamed that she would be coming to them, and her name is Christina, and she was the lioness. So then her mother left her a journal. Her mother had passed, of course, and her family the Dakotas was like, you need to go back to your people. And then Christina decided it was also time to take care of her father. She knew he would want to kill her because she would receive so much money when she come of age from her grandfather. So in the meantime, though, she falls in love with Lion, and of course they both fall in love. She's got to find a mate, a husband, and first he's on the list, and then he's not on the list, and then he don't want to get married again because he'd been married and lost her. And that wasn't a good situation, though, because he lost her in childbirth, and she was pregnant with his brother's baby. Romance novels, gotta love them. Anyway, he can't stand the thought of anybody else with her and all that good stuff. So him and Lion and Christina end up getting married, and they end up figuring out some things about her father. And then, of course, that situation is taken care of because, of course, as a romance novel, it always, all the nice little ends always tie up at the end. But out of the two, like I said, Lion's Lady was my favorite. I liked how she, always tried to be perfect. She had this mysterious air around her because she didn't want anyone to know that she was raised by the Dakotas, not because she was ashamed, but because of her aunt's feelings about it. So, anyway, if you've never read Julie Garwood, all of her books are awesome. My favorite is The Gift, but I really enjoyed these two. Once again, it's just a wonderful romance stories and lighthearted and just gives you all little tingly warm feelings, and then you want to get mad and throw it across the room because men aren't made like this no more, if ever. I don't know. Anyway, come on down. I've got several more Julie Garwood stories, and if you like this one, let me know and I will hold it for you. Happy reading.